are that you're considering leaving the show. Are they true?
Really? Who put those rumors in?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe some of my cast members.
Right.
No, I'm not leaving. I started the show, and when Bravo wants me to leave, that's when I'll leave.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were there first.
Yes. I was there first.
So there's no reunion this year.
No, we're having something. I don't know what they're calling it.
Okay.
But we are doing something. So yeah, so
Okay.
make sure everyone tunes in for that. But I don't know what they're gonna call it.
You don't know what they're gonna call it.
Yeah, because that reunion last year was a doozy.
Yeah, and the thing was, I'm kind of glad we're not doing what we did last year, because it's like when you wanted to speak, other people wouldn't let you speak, and it's like, come on, it's like let us, if we have something to say, let us get our point out, and then you speak. So it's like we were talking over.
I know what they could do.
What?
They could turn the people's mics off.
You're right.
I think that's a good idea.
They should separate people. They should separate people. Put them in like little pods, and then.
It's a good idea.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. If you are new here, I'm Leenda, and this is For the Record, Your Honor. Over here on my channel, we go into some random topics and jump into deep dives of interesting stories, crimes, even culture. I like to lead with articles that are surfacing and swirling around in today's mainstream media and mix it in with today's reality of news and the source of information, the internet, the people's content creators, and social media reporting to help feed both sides of the appetite and argument, so you, the viewer, can digest it all and form your own opinion on such topics and discussions. Together we gather the speculations, facts, and all the info in between to paint the full picture. So some of you have been waiting, I saw on my community board, for a video about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I love the show. Not only because I'm originally from New Jersey, born and raised, but I've been watching that Bravo group since the very, very beginning. Since the first cast, since Danielle Staub and the flipping of the table with Teresa. Girl, I've seen it all. So a lot of people that are big fans of the show are pretty upset. There's a lot of mixed emotions as well, that Andy Cohen might be giving it a new facelift and might be replacing everyone. Which, yeah, the ending, the finale, in my opinion, it was very well edited. And I don't mean in the way to hide things. I mean, it was like a freaking movie. It was so good. The way they ended the last scene. I'm going to see if I can try maybe to do like a viewing party, watch party or something regarding it. If not, I'll just show some clips or screenshots. So here's one of the scenes I want you guys to see where Dolores just explodes.
Go back and forth about it?
I don't want to go back and forth. It's not my thing, because I'm tired of having all of this whole thing.
This is all things too. I would never hold a summit, a burn summit.
Teresa has brought up the summit you had before New York.
There wasn't a summit. That's called doing a reunion review. Is that called a summit?
Well, thanks for not inviting me to that.
We did. I told you to come.
I never, you fucking lying cunt.
What?
You fucking never said that to me.
Are you calling me a lying cunt?
To this house the night before the reunion.
I told you 2 days before. I said everyone's coming over, but I'm sure you don't want to come. And you go, I don't want to do that shit.
You fucking never had that conversation with me.
Conversation.
Liar. Liar.
Dolores.
Liar.
I wasn't even a serious
Fucking liar.
conversation.
I've never had it.
What do you mean?
You never
are?
fucking
Like that.
Because that's a fucking lie.
That's a serious meeting.
That's a serious thing to me that you're telling me you said something. You fucking did it. Never on my kids. On my kids.
I'm telling you.
You never said we're gonna have a reunion review. Do you want to come over? You never fucking
I
said
don't
that.
like to do that shit. It was very impacting.
I think I have to leave.
Please continue.
That's
Why would you do
absolute
that?
outright fucking lie.
Why would you work out on it?
Because I will. Because that is so.
Why would you do this?
Because that's a fucking lie. You did not call me and ask me to fucking come here. You didn't have that fucking
Why
conversation
are
with
we
me.
going so crazy on it?
Because it's a fucking lie. Never happened.
I am very offended that you would even...
Offended?
Yes.
Offended?
Very
You're lying to my fucking face.
I'm not lying.
You had a comment.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
I'm having a
Okay.
fucking really hard time with this right now.
It's not that
No,
serious.
I'm not letting you say it. You never had that conversation with me.
You were out to lunch with Teresa and Jennifer.
I don't care where. If I was in a gynecologist's office. You fucking never told me you were having everybody over for a reunion review. Do you want to come?
I'm watching another rift in this friend group, and I'm so fucking sick of this BS. This can't be it, right? Clearly there's deep-seated problems that they just haven't discussed.
Guys, tensions are high.
Pretty wild, right? Man. Dolores. Woo! I knew she had some anger and aggression and toughness in her. She's always been very walls up. But we know her history that she used to work in, I don't know if it was correctional officer in the jails. So I know she's a tough cookie. But boy, did we see some fire with her this season. And it was kind of needed, I think. She needed to get that shit out. So, let's go into the article. This one's a little bit older, just so you guys get an idea of what's going on. This was from July 29, 2024. Andy Cohen promises to finally reboot Real Housewives of New Jersey with fresh new faces. So let me see if I could share this with you. Okay, there we go. Strip this franchise down to the studs, and we're not talking about a shirtless Joe Gorga. I gotta admit, I love the husbands on the show. I think they should have their own after show. It's been a tough season for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Well, a tough few seasons. I think every season's been rough. There's been a lot of feuds. Amid cast shakeups in other franchises, it seems like Andy Cohen and the powers that be at Bravo have finally taken a hint and are rebooting the Housewives of the Garden State. They recently did this with New York. I have not watched it. I mean, when you have the same revolving cast for so long, people feel so attached to them. So it's hard when you reboot with totally new people. So I don't know how New York is doing, but I haven't read anything bad about it. On a recent episode of Andy Cohen Live on Sirius XM, Cohen took a call from a very disgruntled fan named Joanne, who was bored to death over the recent storylines and wanted to change soon. Well, I mean, have you heard that we're going to do big changes to the show? Cohen asked Joanne, who had not heard that. There's a picture of the girls there. Let me see if I can blow this up for you. There we go. Joanne is fully into her complaint about how upset she is about the storyline between Melissa Gorga and Margaret Josephs. And don't even get her started with Joe Gorga, when Cohen reassured her that change is indeed afoot. So if you are not in the loop, where is she? This is Melissa Gorga right here. This is Teresa and their sister-in-laws. Melissa married Teresa's brother, Joe Gorga. This is Dolores. She has grown up with Teresa and her brother, but she stays pretty fair ground with everybody. But that's probably why they put her in the middle, because she literally is in the middle. She hangs out with Margaret. These two do not hang out with Margaret. She's kind of come along to this side of the story. So, yeah. Us Jersey girls, man. Don't mess with us. It'll never end. So, anyways. All right, so we're rebooting the show. Thank you, Joanne, Cohen said. When he could finally get a word in edgewise, we're going to reboot it. We're going to do something different. Joanne is not done, however, and she wants the OG housewife Teresa to stick around, claiming she will get she will always get in trouble, and that's how she is, but everyone else is boring, and their storyline is Teresa, which is kind of true. Okay, a clearly aspirated Cohen continued, so you want Teresa to stay on the show? Joanne doubles down and declares that Teresa is the show, then backs the car up and runs through the Lincoln Tunnel back to her original point of how boring everyone is, except Teresa, by which point Cohen has had enough. Okay, all right. Okay, we got it, Cohen said. We're going to see what we could do. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe just all fresh faces. My opinion, honestly, Teresa has forever storylines, not just because her marriage, her kids have been showcased on the show for so long that people always wonder what they're up to. I mean, if you watch the show and you follow these ladies, you most likely follow probably Teresa's oldest daughter, Gia, because she's been in every season and people are invested in her. They want to see her do well because throughout everything that family's been through, Gia came out real strong and a lovely young woman. So, in my opinion, honestly, I think if they did a spinoff of just Teresa and her girls and their family life, I think it would actually do really good. I know a lot of people worry like, that's the kiss of death for reality shows when you do your own spinoff with your family. It could really wreck things up. But honestly, she's been through so much shit. I think it would survive and it would probably do really good. As for the others, poor Dolores, she's been in there a long time and she's always been a class act. Just this last episode is when we saw her crack, but it was like we've all felt what she's been brewing inside because she's always in the middle of everything. Margaret, I loved her. Honestly, I used to love her, but now it's getting too much. I don't know. I think she's changed a little bit. Rachel, I don't have an issue with her. I don't really love her, but I don't not like her. She's very not boring, I would say. I would probably describe her as, I don't know. She's a good fill-in. I know that sounds terrible, but she fits in very well, has a good relationship with Melissa and Danielle. But I really don't care for her storyline, honestly. Her husband kind of is a lot of drama. And if you're from New Jersey, yes, you know that Fuda wasn't his real or whatever alleged name. If you watch the show and you do your research, you'll know like there's a little bit of shit going on behind those closed doors. Yes, it's all in the past, but still it makes you wonder a little bit like, okay. Change name, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go into it. As for, why am I going blank on her name? Jennifer Aiden over here. I like Jennifer in the purple with the bow. I like her. She's a little spicy. She's good for TV. And she is a very good friend. Loyal. Oh my God. Super loyal to Teresa. They have a pretty good relationship and friendship. They act like sisters that actually get along. Danielle. I honestly think if Danielle over here, the blonde to the way right, I think she would really do good with her own show. I mean, she is entertaining. She's beautiful. She's very dedicated to her business and her family. She showed a little bit of an aggressive side this season, unfortunately. But we all have it in us, especially if you're a Jersey girl. Like I said before, we're spicy. But I think she would do really awesome on her own because she actually has a history in reality TV shows. She was actually in a lot of MTV things. She was in True Life. She was on like an MTV TRL competition where you had to prove that you are Britney Spears' biggest fan. She did that. So I've seen her throughout the years, like technically throughout my childhood, because I was in high school. I think it was starting in 8th grade the first time I saw her on television with something with MTV. And then when I was in high school, I've seen her a couple times with things. She's like a New York girl, but moved to New Jersey, but she still got Jersey in her, man. Oh yeah, she fits in really good with the cast. I just don't know why this cast can't get along. And I don't know if I talked about Melissa in this 2-piece purple to the left next to Margaret and Rachel. She's okay. Yeah, Teresa is a lot. She is a lot. But Melissa, I think she's entitled to give up on that friendship, relationship, family. It's sad, but she is entitled to have her distance and her peace. And that means not having anything with Teresa. But you will see in the last episode, she got really fucking petty, man. When Teresa said something like, come on, you guys, like, you didn't have to do that, when it got really bad at the meeting. Melissa kind of just put in her attitude, and I don't know how to describe it without, like, physically showing you guys, but she kind of asked for it, and she was looking for a fight with Teresa in that moment, and it didn't have to go like that. It did not have to happen. So I'm not really impressed with that. It kind of showed me off camera how she could be, because I do think she plays a more respectful, level-head character on camera. I think off camera she's just like Teresa. And with Teresa, I give her credit that she is who she is on and off camera. Now, another article. Let's see if I can switch it. There we go. Reality blurb. Dolores Catania says Bravo is upset with Real Housewives of New Jersey cast over off-camera incidents, and shakeup is coming. Let's see. Reveals what didn't air in past seasons. Okay, so this was recent, August 22, which was yesterday. Today is the 23rd. Happy birthday, Adam. And let's see. Dolores Catania addressed the future of Real Housewives of New Jersey and dished on what didn't air in past seasons. She also revealed the Bravo network was upset with the cast over some off-camera drama. Constantly divided. So a traditional reunion was scrapped, but Dolores has stayed neutral, remaining friends with both teams, which we said before. The show is now on hiatus, and a report revealed the cast shakeup is inevitable if it is to come back. NBC's going to shake things up with us. NBC, said Dolores. Does NBC own Bravo? On the Trading Secrets podcast, referencing NBC Universal, which is Bravo's parent company. Oh, there you go. I should have just kept reading. Let's see. She continued, there was some stuff off camera they weren't happy about, and it just got too ugly at the moment. And I think it got so hot, it needs to cool down. I don't know the fate of the show, but you never know from year to year whether they're getting signed up again, which is true. We've seen this with, what's her name? It's funny. New York Housewives. Why am I going blank on it? Dorinda. That's what it is. Dorinda. She lives in between New York and Massachusetts, which is funny because I know where she is, and it's not far at all. And it's just crazy. I would love to meet her. I would love to run into her and meet her. But she was on and off as a cast member. She is very, very touchy with that. If you watch the other shows and the girls' trips, it's brought up where somebody's like, oh, you were fired, and then you were brought back on. And she was like, no, honey, I was on hiatus. So We'll see how this works out for New Jersey. While Dolores didn't mention the exact incidents that made the network upset, Margaret Josephs recently revealed she filed a police report against Teresa Giudice's husband, Louis Ruelas, I don't know how to say it, Ruelas, for harassment after she claimed Louis allegedly started a smear campaign against her brand deal with Walmart. Oh, I didn't even know she was doing a deal with Walmart. Okay. But you know what? Margaret Josephs is no stranger to legal hurdles, honestly. She's been through it all with good and bad. So Margaret also said she went to the cops after Louis allegedly contacted her son at his job and threatened him, which, if you watch the show, that was, I believe, the season before last. Every year, I tell myself I'm fired, she went on, so if I have a job, I'm excited. Dolores said that if she didn't get to be asked back to the show, she maybe would go back to being a surgical assistant, but she doubts it because it's kind of hard. This shared, however, that she's interested in the beauty industry and she's been working with New Beauty magazine. I could see her succeeding with that because she does a lot of skincare. She's a workout queen. Dolores then added that certain parts never made it to the show in previous seasons, like when Paterson, New Jersey awarded her a key to the city, though it was filmed. I didn't know that. Now, Paterson, if you are from New Jersey, you know there's Paterson, and then there's part of Paterson that they kind of and safer. Paterson could be a rough area, rough neighborhood, but man, you could find some amazing people there. So for her to be awarded that key, that's awesome because her and Teresa grew up there. They cut so much of my family out and my background, she added. They only started showing my work with the shelter after I was on for like 5 years. Every time they called me for something with production, I'd be at the shelter. I believe that because in earlier years, I think like the first season, she wasn't a full-on cast, but you see the cast members attending events, and I believe some of them were hers. Because I remember seeing her in some of the scenes, and the cast at that time, a lot of the families did a lot of community stuff. So they did show a lot of that back then. Dolores said she told castmates a year ago to stop the behavior that was pushing the network to its breaking point. I believe that too. I saw it coming, she said, suggesting that even production doesn't know if the show will return. They said, well, you know, talk to you next year, she recalled. It didn't work out good for Real Housewives of New York. They didn't get called. Maybe some divine intervention, something good will happen. But she's putting into the universe that the show will return stronger than ever. You guys want to see it come back? Or some new cast members? Tell me in the comments down below. I'm kind of torn in the middle. I hate to do this, but if it was up to me... Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Jen Fessler. She wasn't in that photo, I don't think. Huh. So, Jackie is back in some episodes as like a friend to the show. For a while, I didn't really like Jackie because she kind of came off like, I know more than you and this and that. But honestly, I think that was because of her friendship with Melissa. I think she came in real hot with that because she wanted that friendship so bad. But we don't really know what happened between those two. I think it was on camera that Melissa was like, I don't know, she stopped talking to me. Because now she switched to Teresa. But in a weird kind of way, I kind of like them being friends. I don't know. I don't know why, but I kind of do. So I kind of would like to see Jackie back in the mix. I would like to see Margaret more as a friend, like what Jackie is right now to the show, then I wouldn't mind her so much. I think it would be less drama. As for Melissa, she hasn't really brought much to the table this year, honestly. I think we've seen like a fashion show that she did, cool, but her husband is more of a star than she is, I think, on the show now. So I think maybe the Gorgas could even do their own show and succeed a little bit. But I think it would be more attention on the husband than on Melissa because she's not that funny. Jen, I'm going to be saying her name wrong all the time, Fessler. I like her. She seems to be the most mature. And she tried really hard to be friends to both sides and to everybody. And everybody just took it completely wrong, I think. If you look back at footage, they got mad at her for talking to this one when she was sticking up for this one. No matter what she did, whichever way you slice the cake, it was bad. And I felt really bad for her because I think she seems to be a really good person, honestly. So I love to see her on the show, but if this is the vibe, then she don't belong because she's not down with that type of behavior. And that's good for her. She's a class act. And then I told you the other two, Rachel, I think they could do with her and do without her. Danielle, I think, was a great addition, but when she gets mad, it's scary. So I don't know. That's a touchy one right there. And the other article I wanted to go over was Teresa Giudice would prefer a return over a family spin-off show. So like I was saying before, her and the girls would do great with their own show. I am like 99% sure on that. There's been talk of a possible spin-off starring Teresa Giudice and her family, but does the mom of four want a show of her own? The Real Housewives of New Jersey star opened up about that and had a surprising response to the idea. You would think the OJ would jump on a chance to distance herself from the castmates and do her own thing. However, Teresa confessed it would be a lot of pressure if it was focused on only her family. Okay. Her husband, Louis, jumped at the idea of a family show when asked during a joint 2023 interview. Of course he would. I'm not a fan of him. I don't know. He just gives me some creepy vibes. If he makes her happy and he's good to her, good. But it seems like he's got his own financial shit and mysteries, I'll say, going on. I would love to do something with Teresa. Yeah, something positive, Louis admitted. Teresa was also open to it at a time, telling E! News, I wouldn't mind doing it with Louis because he's so easy. Meanwhile, Bravo viewers are unconvinced that Teresa can. Okay. What do you guys think? Should she do it? Should she do it? How about a spin-off of just the husbands? They're hilarious all together. But Louis kind of caused a rift between some of them as well. So I don't know, man. It's a freaking mess. It is a mess.